Hello, the central bank is back in the news, manipulating and distorting markets. I think they must have somewhere posted on the walls there in the bathroom, I don't know where, some sign that says, when in doubt, feel a debt orgy. Because you know what's better than too much debt? Even more than too much debt. Now, here's a look at interest rates uh, over the years. And, you know, I don't know if you remember, back kind of post financial crisis, things were really, really ugly. That prompted the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates in December of 2008 to a range of 0 to 0.25%. And it remained there for 7 years, all the way until December of 2015. Now, I know things were really, really bad in 2008, but I don't know about you, but I remember thinking, you know, 3 years in, 4 years in, 5 years in, like, are you kidding me? Like, how much longer do we need to have rates at essentially zero? I was thinking, this is crazy. Did you not learn that your too low for too long interest rates helped fuel the housing crisis that got us here in the first place? Why would you want to do the same mistake again? Now, you know what happens when interest rates are too low for too long? People are like, well, what the heck? Let's load up on some debt. And that's exactly what happened. First, it happened with the housing bubble. Now it's happening with corporate debt. Here's, three companies, FedEx, 3M, ExxonMobil. You can see the massive spikes in their debt levels as interest rates remain too low for too long. Now, admittedly, in the latter half of this chart, interest rates were slowly increasing, but they were going from a place where they were way too low to a place that was more reasonable. I should also add that the XM number here, or the Exxon number here, is artificially low in that this is the number reported at the end of 2019. They have subsequently added a mere $9 billion in extra debt. And what did companies do with this debt? Primarily what they did is they bought back shares, so then they could then give them away in the form of incentives to their executives. Well use of 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 funding, and made sure to keep their cash levels really low so they were unable to survive in a crisis period like the global pandemic. Now what happens? Well, they're overridden with debt. They don't have any cash because they use that to compensate themselves. So what happens? The Federal Reserve again has to step in. So on March 12th of this year, they announced they were going to buy corporate credit ETFs. The idea being here that investors were not stupid enough to buy corporate credit given the low levels of cash and the global pandemic crisis and its effect on revenues and earnings. Individuals were not stupid enough to buy these things. So the market started behaving like the reality actually is. So the Federal Reserve said, hey, if you're not going to be stupid enough to buy these securities, we're going to step in. We're going to buy them. We're going to make sure the corporations that already have too much debt are able to get even more debt, so that individuals say, well, I mean, if you're going to basically put a floor on bond prices, right, you're going to be there when the market reverts to reality, right, then I'll go in and I'll go ahead and play in this market too. All right. So again, then on Monday, Federal Reserve says, hey, this isn't enough. Now, not only are we going to buy corporate ETFs, corporate credit ETFs, we're going to buy individual corporate bonds to support market liquidity, right? That is to be there when investors are smart enough not to buy these types of securities, and to make sure that these large employers have available credit so that they can get even more debt in order to, pay their employees and survive. Now, I'm not saying this move in and of itself is bad. I'm saying that the policies leading up to this caused the need for this policy. All right. More debt is better than too much debt, or more debt than too much debt is better than too much debt. You know what I mean? Anyway, I want you to stop accepting conventional wisdom blindly. There are times when central banks need to step in, but if in general they create disconnects between the markets and realities. That's not a well-functioning market. At some point, they need to step out. I think they're too afraid to ever do that. I'm worried that at some point there's going to be this giant reality check where then even the central banks can't come in and, you know, make markets behave other than the way they should be behaving. All right. Again, anyway, have a great day. I guess Wednesday is turning out to be criticized the central bank's day.